Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're digging into something really powerful. We've got this stack of sources, all focused on motivation, time, personal development, but it's intense stuff.
Yeah, it's not your typical self-help checklist. This material is, well, pretty direct, almost brutally honest, you could say.
Exactly. And it all kind of circles around this one big question the sources keep asking. Are you really living your life, or are you just existing?
That question hits hard, especially when you think about what people want. The sources mention things like freedom, maybe that dream car, or just peace of mind. Love, happiness, your own business.
Right, the big goals.
But here's the thing. These sources aren't just about cheering you on for having those dreams. They're more like a mirror, a really clear, maybe uncomfortable mirror.
Okay.
It's designed to show you the truth, not sugar-coated lies, but the actual things you need to do, like today, to get from just wanting those things to actually having them.
Okay, so our mission here is to really unpack that. We're looking at these 20 core lessons from the material. And the goal is to figure out how to make that shift, right? From just letting life happen to you.
Actively creating it, building it.
Precisely. So let's kick things off with lesson 1. This really sets the stage. It's about scarcity. Time is your life. Don't waste it.
And they put it really starkly, don't they?
Oh, yeah. The quote is intense. You are not killing time. Time is killing you.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's meant to grab you, for sure. It creates that urgency. But, okay, we kind of know time is limited, right, intellectually?
Yeah, everyone knows that.
So why do we still, scroll endlessly on social media or watch random cat videos for hours or hit snooze like 5 times? What's the disconnect there, according to the sources?
Well, the material suggests it's because we act like time is infinite. We live under this illusion of abundance. We forget that every single second that ticks by, you're getting older. Your energy, your capacity, it's actually going down bit by bit.
That lack of feeling the scarcity.
It leads straight into this massive problem, which lessons 4 and 15 really hammer home the lie of later.
Ah, yes, I'll do it later, the
Yeah,
classic.
exactly. And the insight here is pretty cutting. When you say I'll do it later, what you often really mean is I don't actually want to do this at all.
Ouch. So later just becomes never.
Pretty much. We treat time like it's just sitting there waiting patiently for us to feel perfectly ready, perfectly motivated.
Which never happens.
Right. Life's always messy. Time doesn't wait. And the sources are clear. The only thing guaranteed by always pushing things to later is regret down the line.
Okay, so if later is the trap, what's the escape route? What's the solution here?
Lesson 15 gives us the antidote. Why not now? Simple question, right? But powerful. Stop waiting for the perfect conditions because they don't exist.
Life will always be complicated.
Always. So instead, start treating your hours like they're gold, like they're incredibly precious. And focus. Pick one thing, even a small thing, that actually moves your life forward and do it right now.
Imperfect action now beats perfect planning for later.
Exactly. One real action now is worth way more than 100 amazing plans for some mythical future time that never arrives.
Okay, that makes sense. But shifting from that passive waiting to actually doing,
Yeah,
that takes something internal, doesn't it?
absolutely. Which brings us to the next big theme, the pillars of inner power. And lesson 2 is key here. Stop blaming. Start building.
Radical self-responsibility,
What?
taking ownership.
Totally. The sources are really uncompromising on this. Your life, it's your responsibility, period. Not your parents' fault, not your friends, not your bosses, definitely not the government's.
It's easy to fall into that trap, though, the blame game.
Oh, for sure. People waste years, the material says, complaining about the usual stuff. I didn't go to the right school, nobody supports me, I don't have the money, I don't have the talent.
All the excuses.
Right, and the sources basically say the complaining, that's where you lose. The person who wins is the one who says, look, I don't care what I didn't get. I'll figure it out. I'll build something from scratch if I have to.
Like the Oprah Winfrey example they use.
Exactly. Born poor,
Yeah.
abused as a child. I mean, talk about reasons to feel sorry for yourself. But she didn't let her story define her future in that way.
She didn't just sit there and cry about how unfair it was. She built.
She built. And it wasn't just about getting rich. The act of building itself was transformative. It let her rise above her circumstances.
But that building process, it's not easy. It often involves a fight, right? An internal one.
Yeah. Lessons 7 and 8 dive into that.
And
The sources call it the real war. You versus you.
explain that.
It's the lazy part of you, the part that wants comfort and ease, versus the ambitious part, the one that has goals and drive. And winning that war Takes willpower.
Okay, willpower. But let's dig into that,
Hmm.
because the sources also say something interesting, that feelings are liars. You don't feel like getting up early, you don't feel like studying or going to the
You'll
gym.
never feel like it.
But if you just ignore your feelings all the time, isn't that just a recipe for burnout? How do you balance needing that grit with, not completely destroying yourself emotionally?
That's a fair point. The material seems to suggest the balance comes from discipline, not relying on your mood. Willpower, in this context, means choosing the right thing even when you don't feel like it.
Okay.
If you let your feelings dictate everything, it's like letting a toddler run a Fortune 500 company. Won't end well. You have to lead yourself, manage your own internal state.
Lead yourself. I like that. And this self-leadership gets a boost from another hard truth, doesn't it? Lesson 14.
Oh, yeah. This one's tough but important. Nobody cares about your problems.
Sounds harsh. Almost cruel.
It does. But the sources frame it differently. They say this fact, that nobody's really losing sleep over your struggles.
Oh,
That's actually your greatest power.
how so?
Because if nobody's coming to rescue you, if the cavalry isn't on the way, then you're free. You're free to fail without worrying about disappointing the world. Free to try again. Free to look silly or stupid while you figure things out. You don't need anyone else's approval to act.
So the indifference of the world actually liberates you?
In a way, yeah. You have to care deeply. But you don't need the world to care for you to get started. And Lesson 8 gives a practical tip here. Willpower is like a muscle.
You have to train it.
Exactly. Start small. Pick one tiny thing you're resisting, just one, and force yourself to do it. And talk to yourself like a leader, like someone who keeps their word. I don't break promises to myself. Build that integrity muscle.
Okay, so we've got time and willpower as internal things we manage. What about the external world? What traps are out there, according to these lessons? Lesson 3 jumps right in. Your comfort zone is a trap.
Mm-hmm. We love comfort, don't we? It feels safe, easy.
Feels good. For a while.
Right. But the material warns you're actually dying slowly from the inside when you stay there too long. Because there's no growth in comfort. None.
They use that seed analogy, right?
Yeah, it's a good one. For a seed to become a huge, strong tree, it first has to break out of its shell, push through the uncomfortable darkness of the soil, face the wind, the rain, the harsh sun.
It needs the struggle to get strong.
Exactly. We need that too. We have to embrace discomfort. We have to be willing to fail, maybe even fail proudly and loudly, as they say, to learn and move forward. The path to anything great is always paved with things that felt risky at the time.
And sometimes that risk involves pushing back against what other people want for us. Lesson 17 talks about the prison of dreams, external expectations.
Yes. People love to put you in a box, don't they? For your own good, of course. Be realistic. Play it safe. Don't dream too big.
And if you live just to meet their expectations, what happens?
You end up hating yourself, the sources say. You feel trapped, like you're living someone else's script for your life. You might be smiling on the outside, but inside you're miserable.
Because it's not authentic.
Not at all. And the material is blunt. Sometimes, chasing your dream means you will disappoint people, maybe even people you love. That could be part of the price.
Wow. Okay. And while you're navigating all that, there's another huge trap waiting. Comparison. Lesson 9 warns this is fatal.
Oh, this is a big one today, isn't it? With social media everywhere.
Huge. We fall right into it. Comparing our messy, complicated 2047 reality, our behind-the-scenes struggle.
For someone else's shiny, edited 15-second highlight reel.
Exactly. It's a completely unfair comparison, but we do it constantly. The sources use a lovely metaphor here.
The sunflower and the rose.
Yeah. If a sunflower compares its height to a rose, and the rose compares its petals to the sunflower, they both forget their own unique beauty. They just feel inadequate.
And we do that all the time. Scrolling, thinking, wow, look at them. Why isn't my life like that? It just kills your own motivation and progress. You have your own race to run.
Absolutely. Which ties into another point about external influence, lesson 10, about taking advice.
Right. This is crucial. The wisdom here is simple, but so often ignored. Don't take advice on how to get rich from your broke friend.
Yeah, seems obvious, but...
But we do it. You have to ask,
Yeah.
has the person giving me advice actually achieved the thing I want to achieve? Have they walked that path?
If not, their advice is probably just theory. Or worse, it's based on their own fears and limitations.
Exactly. And the source warns one bad piece of advice taken to heart can set you back years, maybe even a decade. You gotta protect your vision.
Okay, protecting the vision, taking action. This feels like we're moving into the creator's mindset now.
Yep.
Lesson 5 emphasizes doing overthinking.
Yes, overthinking is the enemy. It's the cage. You think and plan and analyze so much that you get exhausted before you even start.
You paralyze yourself with what ifs.
Totally. They use the example of someone wanting to learn to swim. They read all the books, watch YouTube tutorials, buy the fancy goggles and swimsuit.
But they never actually jump in the water.
Never. So they never learn. Success comes from doing, not just thinking about doing. You need action, not analysis paralysis.
So what holds people back from just jumping in? Is it waiting for permission?
Often, yeah. Which is why Lesson 11 is so direct.
Though.
Stop waiting for someone else to choose you. Pick yourself.
Don't wait for the gatekeepers.
Right. If you're waiting for the world to notice you and give you a gold star before you start, you'll be waiting forever. You have to approve yourself first. Think about J.K. Rowling.
Rejected how many times?
12 times. 12 publishers said no to Harry Potter. Imagine if she'd waited for their approval after the first few rejections.
We wouldn't have Hogwarts.
Exactly. She believed in it, she picked herself, and she kept going until someone else finally saw it too.
Okay, so you pick yourself, then what? Lesson 12 says you have to risk something to gain a story.
No great life, no interesting life was ever built entirely inside the comfort zone. You have to risk things. Your time, your comfort, maybe your money, even your heart sometimes.
That's how you build something meaningful, something worth talking about later.
Right. The source poses the question. Without risk, what does your life become? Quiet, silent, predictable, safe, and maybe empty.
Nobody remembers the safe plays at the end of their life, do they? They remember the moments of courage, the leaps they took.
That's the idea, which leads to the final powerful lessons, 16 and 20. It's all about creation over complacency.
If you don't like your current situation,
You're not stuck. That's the message. You're the artist. Life is your canvas. You can paint something new. You have to pick up the brush.
life doesn't owe you anything. It rewards action, performance.
Exactly. Stop expecting life to just be easy or fair. It's not. Instead, you have to demand more from yourself.
Okay, so bringing this all together, synthesizing this whole intense blueprint, what's the final takeaway?
The sources emphasize you're not finished. Even if you're in a really dark place right now, those tough times, they aren't the end. They can be the beginning of a stronger, wiser you.
That connects to lesson 18, right? Turning pain into power.
Absolutely. Your struggles, your past pain, it can either break you or you can choose to use it as fuel. The strongest people, the sources suggest, are forged in fire. They learned to channel that pain into purpose.
And finally, that last piece, lesson 19, the call to focus.
Yeah, using that old metaphor of the two wolves inside you, one is distraction, chaos, negativity. The other's focus, purpose, action.
And the one that wins.
Is the one you feed.
Yeah.
So you have to actively starve the wolf of distraction, the endless scrolling, the pointless worrying, the gossip, and intentionally feed the wolf of focus.
And the potential payoff.
It's huge.
Yeah.
The sources claim if you give your absolute undivided focus to your most important goal for just 1 year, like 365 days of real intentional effort, your life could look completely different on the other side, unrecognizable.
Wow, 1 year of focus.
So for everyone listening, what's the final thought here? Drawing on lessons 13 and 20, it's this provocative idea. You are way more powerful than you think. The material literally calls you a storm waiting to rise,
Even if you feel weak right now.
especially then.
Okay.
You might feel like you're behind, like you're failing, but maybe you're just warming up. If you just keep putting one foot in front of the other, keep walking even when it's hard, eventually you'll realize everything is okay, and the world. It'll watch in shock when you finally rise up.
A storm waiting to rise. I like that. So the final question for you, listening right now, since we know the clock is ticking, time isn't waiting.
And life isn't going to magically get easy.
Right. What is the one single, small, maybe imperfect action you will take right now, today, to stop just wishing life were easier and start demanding more from yourself? What's that first step?